Man on the moon. If you can count on Democrats for anything, it's being awkward and inauthentic. Stephen A. Smith is slamming his party for having their heads stuck in the clouds.
I said, I don't know what the hell I was thinking about believing that y'all would get it because you still don't get it. And then when I saw how things were unfolding and how out in the clouds the Democratic Party was even after they lost the election, I said, this is no hope.
Yep, there's no hope for these two Democratic governors to be authentic. J.B. Pritzker and Gretchen Whitmer taking time out of their busy days to celebrate Walking Day and Trans Visibility Day.
I feel so rejuvenated when I'm done walking. Illinois is the best place to walk, partly because of the people. I love listening to music in the morning, honestly. I need something with a beat.
Today is Transgender Day of Visibility, when we celebrate the strength, resilience, and contributions of our transgender family, friends, and neighbors. I'll keep fighting like hell to make sure every Michigander feels safe, secure, and supported.
Oh gosh, not like HE double hacky sticks, Gretchen. Greg, you were singing a fun Trans Day song during the commercial break. Would you like to reprise it?
I do not think we have enough trans visibility. I mean, I never hear about it at all. You know, you know, we see more trans than the percentage of the population warrants, and we all know that. We all know that. And worse, it indulges the kinks of the men whose entire fetish is to shock those who observe them. The contributions of the trans population, I'm willing to bet you that the authentic trans do not want to be seen at all. The whole point is not to be visible, to, quote, pass, so they don't know that you might be trans. Pritzker celebrating Walking Day is not accurate. It should be celebrating Walking with Security Day, because Sheridan Gordon did not have security, and she went for a walk and was murdered. She ended in death. That's the disconnect that really bothers us. I love, you know, the Dems, if you say the Dems are out of touch, and I'm going to channel Harold, he'll go, well, isn't everybody out of touch? Republicans live in their own bubble, too. We all live in bubbles.
Like my son imitating him. That's what happened.
But you know what the thing is? When you are a conservative, libertarian, or Republican, your bubble exists inside their bubble. Every day we're facing the assaults and aggravations of progressive thought. We have to be told about pronouns. We have to be told that we are racist and bigoted. We don't ask for a libertarian or a conservative visibility day. We don't force anything on anybody, but we have to know what's going on in their world because they make it known. That is why I'm tired of visibility days.
All right, so Harold,
I don't want a Jesse visibility day.
well, it's too late because
called Christmas.
so Jesus-y. Jesse?
Yeah,
I was going to go to Harold, but you put yourself out there.
No, I agree. I want a trans invisibility day. Sorry, but they have so many days. I brought it. Transgender Day of Remembrance, Transgender Day of Visibility, Transgender Awareness Week. They get a whole week.
Yeah.
International Pronouns Day, Non-Binary Peoples Day, Intersex Awareness Day. I could go on and on. The reason they're so visible is because they're in our bathrooms and in our sports, and they changed the English language when we didn't even need it changed. That's why. No other minority group does this. The alcoholics are probably like, hey, could I get a little attention over here? There's only one Veterans Day, but they have like 16 days in the calendar.
There's more days than trans.
Yes. They're less than 1% of the population, and all I see is trans everything. Isn't the trans thing over, though? I heard it was over.
Pretty much.
It's like a trend, right? It's over. We're not doing that anymore.
It's
We're doing
waning
something
a little
else.
bit, at least with the kids.
JB is boring. It's not that he's being inauthentic. No, that's authentic. He's boring. Walking is the only thing interesting about JB. If he played golf or fished or sailed, that would be interesting.
Sailed?
You know, John Quincy Adams swam naked in the Potomac every morning for exercise. That's the kind of thing you want in a politician. You don't want a politician bragging about walking. You want one skinny dipping.
Did you skinny dip when you were a politician, Harold?
I did not. I did not. Not that I let anybody know about.
J.B. Pritzker, is he going to set your party on fire, or is he as boring as Jesse claims?
So I think that Jesse and Greg are right in one big way. We need to stop. First of all, my son, I hope you watch, because you imitated me just like he imitates me when he's mad at me.
Where's your coat and tie for dinner?
He has asked me that for Sunday. We focus on the wrong things. The country is focused on cost of living, and we're focusing on these issues. I'm not saying we discriminate against anybody, but I like the walking day for JB. I think the health and exercise and fitness is a good thing. But the other stuff I don't quite get. Here we are not asking every day governors in their communities and cities and rural areas in their states, asking the president to lift all tariffs so that people can afford more things. Asking the federal government to figure out ways to help people make homes more affordable by a federal housing permitting legislation that would make it easier for things to be built, and to help people under 30 who've been working, give them a year of down payment assistance for every year they've been working. And if they don't, we own part of that house. We have to be creative about how we try to invigorate, and for that matter, make the country more affordable again for everyday Americans. But if we continue to focus on this stuff, I think it's nonsense. Just one moment on Stephen A. Smith. I think he has every right to say what he says clearly. I think there are a lot of people who probably regret the way they voted in 2024 for either Kamala Harris or for President Trump. People who didn't want to be in wars and who wanted things more affordable. But you know what, Kennedy? That's what elections are for. And we'll have an election this go around, and we'll see what happens. We have a lot of polling, but the only polling that matters is an election. And I will note, Democrats have done very well in the last year and a half, because they're focusing on what's happening in everyday people's lives. If you focus on the issues that people don't care about or affect a small number of people, it's not going to help us. Focus on the things that help more people.
Might make sense if you didn't have Kamala as a nominee. No
Kamala's
one
not my
regrets
nominee.
voting for Trump, because that means
I did. Well, then tell me this, Greg. Why is he losing? Why are Republicans losing in so many places around the country, including President Trump, who is now a Democrat? Right, because when the party doesn't perform well. So
No,
I just think people
perform well and still.
I think people were. If you ask most people who voted, a lot of 30-year younger people in this country, under 30 years, who voted for President Trump, I would imagine you'd see a lot of them, or many of them, saying, or I wouldn't be surprised if many said what Stephen A. Smith just said about Kamala Harris, that he regrets that vote.
Dana, I'll let you break the tie.
I believe that this is another example of the big mistake that the Democratic National Committee has made in burying the 2024 election results, the autopsy that they did, because they are afraid of what it's going to say. And what was the single most effective political ad of last season? It was the one where President Trump said, "She's for they, them, I'm for you." And here we have again the Democrats walking right back up, picking right back up where they left off, and doing all of the trans stuff. And you're going to lose on that 95-5 every single time. But because they are so afraid to deal with why they lost, they're at risk of making the same mistakes again.
What is it about this issue that they are, what a hill to die on? It's not real.
Even the gays are over the trans thing.
Oh, they were over it before it began. They were like, what's this?
You
Has
would
nothing.
know.
Yeah.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.